Late evening, family. Late evening. Late evening. If you're watching this later, give me maybe 60 seconds or so to allow time for individuals to tune in real quick. If individuals tune in, but please, you don't go anywhere. Maybe what I'm going to share is going to help you. I really hope so. If you need it, if not, then just stay around and see if it does. And if it don't, I thank you for hanging in there to the end to see if what I'm going to share that you can use. All right. It has something to do with allowing the unknown in the future create worry, stress, or fear. All right. And I'm going to share with you a personal experience that I just had the other day where it was already worked out before I found out it worked out. So, with sharing that, I hope that you see, that you understand when things happen that is out of your control, you believe that it's already worked out and trusting God that He's going to show you the way out as He will provide the way out and give you wisdom in how to navigate in those uncertainties, disappointments, or the unexpected. All right. So, trust. Check this out. Late evening to you all who just tuned in. I'm gonna share a personal experience that I just had the other day, and I hope you get something from it. So, stop stressing and worrying about what you don't have control of. Just because you don't see a way out in the future, or you don't see how it's going to be possible, or it's going to be done, like, don't worry yourself thin, because we find ourselves extremely stressed out about tomorrow. Like, extremely stressed out about what is just not in our control, and how this is going to happen, how that's going to happen. So check this out. Monday, I bought a vehicle, and Wednesday, when I made it back in town, I it was like puddle of antifreeze under my car. So I'm like, I don't remember what I thought in that moment. I wasn't upset. I'm like, the fifth thing, I was like, man, like, what's going on, right? And so I called a car lot where I got the car from, and he had to do what he had to do, and he gave me a number to contact the service center for them to come pick up the vehicle, figure out what's wrong with it, and then fix it. All right, that sounds like a whole lot of stuff that's out of my control. Right now, what was the issue was, for one, during the day I pick up my son and grandchildren from school, so I need my vehicle. All right, look, I'm going somewhere with this. I want to show you all how God works things out already before we even figure it out, so we can learn to trust Him more and stress much less. All right, so I'm going somewhere with this. I'm trying to paint it clearly for you to receive it well. Holy Spirit, lead me with this. So, only thing that was in my control was the number that He gave me to call it. I must have called it about 20 times, still no answer. All right, was it frustrating? A bit so. But we cool. I spoke to my wife, and she like, this really makes me mad. I'm like, I understand why you're upset, but like, don't worry about it. I just got the car like not even a full 2 days ago. I'm glad that it's happening now, opposed to opposed to later on where it would have had to come out of my pocket. So where, yes, this sucks and it's inconvenient, like, thank God, because it's happening now and it's going to be taken care of. It's already figured out, right? So again, I have to pick up my son and my grandkids from school and during the day. So it's like I have to do that, and then how am I going to get to work? I'm like, cool, I can hop on the train, it's nothing, but then I still have to get home. I don't live along the bus line, so it's like, okay. So after I'm trying to pick selective parts in the story to where it's extremely relevant and not too overwhelming. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and skip towards the end, and then whatever fillers I can plug in afterwards, then I'll do so, because there's multiple things to learn from this. Like, one of them, sometimes it's not that serious. Sometimes it's not that bad. Where I see a whole lot of puddle from, antifreeze from the front of my car, and I just bought this, like, that's a problem, right? So I finally spoke to someone in the service department, and she was like, it could be a couple hours for the tow truck to come, like, if they come today. If not, then it'll be in the morning. Then we see what's wrong or whatever. It could take maybe until next week. But if you choose to go and get another cart, and that's fine. But, like, other than that, just let us get the cart and figure out what's going wrong with it. Okay, cool. So she expedited the process, and she also pushed the email to a manager that's above all of them. Now, mind you, I prayed that, like, God, I don't know if this is out of my control. Like, can you speed this process up for me instead of having to wait all this time? Like, just basically speed it up to where, it'll get done much faster than what they're talking about, which they didn't know. So, and I said that part to say, prayer, it works, but you got to believe and trust God throughout this, right? So let me kick it a foot further. So where they were saying it could be a couple hours, like, a tow truck was there within like 45 minutes. Granted, I had already been there for like an hour and some or whatever, but I was at the parking lot of my job. It's nothing, you know what I mean? I had already, okay, anyway. So the guy, he come pick up my car like within like 45 minutes. All right. So I'm like, cool, bet. Like, this around like, man, I hope they can, at least see what's wrong with it before they close at 5. Let me know what business is in the morning, and they fix it. Cool, I can get my car back before I have to put the kids up and I have to go to work, right? So then, so once I got situated, I called my mom and I told her what the deal was. And, granted, she had been sick, these past few days. I think she had like a flu or something. And she like, oh, it's no big deal. You just come get my car. I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm like, I'll figure it out with what's in my control, right? So her saying you can get my car because I'm not going to work tomorrow. I probably won't go back to work until Friday. This was Wednesday. This was perfect, right? So that's my transportation issue covered. I can still get my son and grandkids from school, and I can still drive to work where I don't even have to worry about catching the bus. All right. Guess what? God had already worked it out. I was just calling my mom, let her know what the deal was. Because her and my sister had been praying for me and stuff like that. So she would just call Portia, and she's over there by your job. What a coincidence, right? She was like not even 10 minutes from my job, get some tea or something. You know what I'm saying? So I called her. She was still in the area. So cool. I don't have to, like, my wife, she was getting off early that day, about 3 o'clock. She had to go and get the kid and the grandkids instead of me, because I was like almost an hour away at my job, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to catch the bus home. I'm downloading the Dart app, you know what I mean, gonna catch the train and everything. Like, these are my plans that I'm making as I should to do what I need to do, but I didn't have to do any of that because God had already out where you may not see how, where you may not see where and when. God already worked it out. Yeah, sure, like you might have to like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, but don't forget to pray and ask him to intervene, because it's God providence and his sovereignty where he allowed things to happen, and he always create a connecting piece that's going to get us from one part or one transition to the next. All right, so that's why this is called trust. We have to learn to trust God when we don't understand, or like when things are unfair, or life is just really putting hands on us. We have to trust that he got everything under control, right? So cool. Like, so my sister, she came and picked me up. She took me to my mom's house to get my mom's car, and I was able to drive to the house. You know what I mean? Like, so everything worked out perfectly. Things that I did not plan. You know what I mean? It was I worked it what was in my control, but like I didn't have to do all that because the man, he already worked it out. So trust him when you don't understand. Stop coming at him like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for one, like he owe us an explanation, or like get us out of this. Granted, like all things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Like, but we have to see it through instead of like tripping. You know what I mean? Like, we get so caught up in what we are going through or experiencing in that moment, we don't evaluate things spiritually and allow His spiritual wisdom and our spiritual perspective to kick in, to see things from a standpoint that allow us to not only lose hope, but also be patient and remain calm in the process, to where we can continue to think rationally, and also for him to speak to us in those moments and what we should do. I know that's kind of a lot, you know what I mean? Like, but like, it's spiritual understanding, especially when it comes down to things that's out of our control. We have to let him work it. And oftentimes he done already worked it. We just try to feel like we got to, take matters in our own hands without seeking him, without seeking guidance, without seeking patience or even understanding, but like just knowing what he need to do in that, and what he's trying to do in that season. So I asked him why. Not asked him like, question him like why this and why that, but it's like why this happening, because I understand it's happening for a reason. And what he said was, one of the things he said, for you to work on your patience. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes it could be a patience issue. You feel me? Sometimes it could be situations to where we need to learn to let things go and seek the feet of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, and lay it at his feet, so he can work on our patience as well as our faith. It's always a lesson in everything that we go through in life, especially when it's pertaining to struggles, hardships, whatever, so on and so forth. All right. But if we don't seek his wisdom or try to seek some type of spiritual understanding from our Heavenly Father, Lord Christ, like, then what are we left with when it comes down to the next trial that we're going to go through? Because no, it's never, oftentimes we blow things out of proportion. It's never really that serious. All right. Although there are some serious circumstances, but based on how we feeling in that moment, it intensifies the reality of the matter. All right, so check this out. So look, as we talk about this car situation, I said I made it back in town, and like antifreeze was like everywhere, right? They towed my car to the car lot. They looked to see what was wrong with it. You think like it was something serious about what you seen, right? So what the guy told me was, because he called me like the next morning. He called me the next morning at 11 o'clock and said basically it was a drainage plug to my radiator that was not tight. So the driving it loosened it up, and the pressure, like the antifreeze, basically just came out. It was no motor issue. It was no hose issue. It was no hole. It was nothing. It was just simply a the drainage plug. It was loose. Again, my wife, she was upset for reasonable doubt, but you like I wasn't, because I knew it happened for a reason, whatever the reason was, and it's getting taken care of. Inconvenience, yes, but like everything still flows smoothly, right? So that's all it was. That's all it was. I got my car back yesterday. I went and picked my mom up. I went and picked my mom up from her house. Went to get my car, and no issues since then. You know what I'm saying? Like he like we tightened it up, refitted with antifreeze, and there's no problems. I haven't had any problems. You know what I'm saying? So just learn to trust God in things that you don't understand. Because not all the times it's things that we should understand in that moment anyway. It's just learning to trust his will and his providence, and knowing that it's going to work out for our good. So when we have that understanding and that perspective, although the situation or the matter may be serious, just remember Romans 8:28. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to work out for your good one way or another at some point in time or another. Just be patient and just let him reveal to you what he has already worked out. Let him reveal to you the transitions that he has connected for you from where you are to where you need to get to. And just be patient and don't complain. And try not to stress about what you can't see, don't know, understand, or in fear of. Like, kill that worry, kill that doubt. Because like if we know that we serve a sovereign God who is in control of everything, and we know that he always worked things out from history, as history will have it, like, then he got it this time. Nothing, like, everything goes through his hands first. So if we know that, and we believe Romans 8:28, that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose, why stress out? Why worry? Why doubt? You feel me? So sometimes we just need to relinquish the control, because like it's our control, and feel like we gotta be God and Lord over our life and over our situation, to where it bring about a lot of disappointment and hate towards God. You know what I'm saying? And that's foul. You feel me? Super foul. You feel me? So yeah, I just wanted to share that experience, because I'm like, man, that's crazy how everything worked out. And you know what I'm saying, though I was making piecing together plans and to make sure everything go good, he had already worked it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just crazy. So yeah, that's what I got. Crazy. That's crazy, dude. Life be happening. Like, what the Lord, I don't know. First of all, the reckoning, how you doing, my brother? How you doing? I don't know how much of this you heard, but one of the things he was teaching me, what he revealed to me while I was sitting in my car, before I, got answers, was he was teaching me patience. Likewise. He just let me know to work on my patience. Sometimes he allowed things to sit us down, you know what I'm saying, to really sit us down to where he have our attention, because we always have something to do. You know what I'm saying? There's always something that needs to be taken care of, and that becomes priority over him always. And when it's like that, he gonna get our attention one way or another. You know what I mean? So and as a loving father should, you feel me? Like, sit down, talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, sit down, stop stressing, sit down, like, relax, like, sit down. It's gonna be okay. Sit down. I got this. Sit down. You doing too much. Sit down. Like, it's a lot of different reasons. You know what I'm saying? So, but it all works out for our good. You feel me? Yeah, for sure. Yep. So, yep. So that was one of those. That was one of those those deals where it's like, you know, I'm grateful that I experienced it, because oftentimes things that I experience, I come on here and I share it, in hopes to where if any of you can pour from it, that can help you in any way. Like, that's my goal. So yeah. Yep. Hold on for a second. How you been, brother? How you been? So, so for any of you who tune in a little late, go and check out the beginning of this live, and perhaps if you feel led to, share it out in hopes to help someone who could use it. Man, that's the true blessing, man. And it's man, look, listen to me. It's crazy how this works out, right? Where we feel like we gotta do this and do that, when when God calls or allow things, when God calls or allow things to happen to um where how can I put this? I need to do this, I need to do that. But when he remove us from that equation for, even if it's for like 3 or 4 days, where it's like this is our main focus, and then it's like, dang, now I can't do this, now I can't do that, man, what about this, what about that? And it's like, in that moment, it's like, it's crazy, like, because we feel like we need to do this, we need to do that. But then, to when he removed that from us, to where we don't have to worry about that, and we have this time to focus on him, it's almost like, yeah, those things matter and those things need to be taken care of, but it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a dire need that I do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, right here, right now. So I guess that's just one of them type of deals where perhaps maybe he's saying, prioritize me. maybe that's what that's what he's saying. Prioritize me. Just maybe. So let's prioritize him and know that everything's good. Everything's going to be taken care of. Sure we have our responsibilities and what we need to do, and let's lean into that. But we can do that effectively and at a high level, but still prioritize him. So let's learn from that, make whatever adjustments, and seek him for wisdom and guidance in how he would have us to do that if we struggle with trying to figure it out. And just try to be consistent. Just try to be consistent in doing that, and know that, hey, it's gonna work out together. I'm sorry, it's gonna work out for the good. All right. So share this out. I just made it to work. I finna get ready to hop up in this truck and get my night started. And yeah, that's what I got. I love you all greatly. The Reckoning, my brother. It's always good to see you. Um, um, Keep leaning into doing what you got to do. You know what I mean? You got it. You know, like I always say, let's focus and execute on what we have control of, and not worry about what we do not, and allow him to, do that part. Because if it's out of our hands, it's in somebody else's hands. So clearly, it's the one who's in control of everything. So let's let him do him, but let's make sure that we do what we must do, and not stress or worry about the next or tomorrow, because today have enough trouble of its own, according to Romans 6. All right. I love y'all greatly. I need to call inside real quick, and man, um, there's some new things coming for next year. I've been working on some things and stuff like that, and I'll talk to you all about that at a later date. But in the meantime, you guys take care. Um, and yeah, I love you too, my brother, and I appreciate you as well. And I'll talk to you all later. Much love. Peace.